Very good morning to all my dear students. I welcome you all into the Industrial Pharmacy 2. So we are on to the Industrial Pharmacy 2, in which we are going to be studying the regulatory system, that is the Indian regulatory system. And while studying that one, we are on to the topic that is said to be the uh, approval process for the new drugs, approval process for the clinical trial, approval process for the investigation and new drugs, approval process for the drug which is there for the test analysis and the examination. So for all these, there is an online portal which already we had started in our previous class. That portal is said to be the Sugam portal, that is the Suraksha Gunvatta and the Manakta, that is the safety, efficacy and the quality, safety, quality and the efficacy, right? So in this particular lecture, what we have to study, that already you know what is Sugam, who can apply, how to apply, and how to apply for a clinical trial and the process that are involved in case of the Sugam. So while studying that one, we had already gone through all these, the objective behind development of this Sugam portal, what are its benefits, which are the different drugs or which are the different trials for which we can apply, how to apply and who can apply, that we know that all these are the four stakeholders, they can apply onto the Sugam portal. Then we saw the processes, that is the benefits behind development and the designing this Sugam portal. And while studying that benefit, we saw that earlier the time that was taken in order to give approval, that was very high. As this is the particular slide onto which we were there in our last lecture, so we will continue from this particular slide onward. As if you see the graph in which the different years had been mentioned from 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So if you see the time duration that was taken, in case of 2013, the time duration that was taken, average time in order to give approval, that was around 14 months. In case of 14, it was still much higher, that is the 15 months. And as you move from 14 onward, then it is 12 month, then it was 9 month, and with the help of introduction of the Sugam portal in 2016, from 9 month the time duration had been reduced to 6 month, and again in case of 2018 it is 3 month, right? So that is what is the benefit of having this online system, where the time duration that was taken earlier in case of several months, which has been reduced to only few months, right? From 15 month up to 3 month. And in case of the fast track processes, or in case of emergency, in case of pandemic situations, there is a fast approval, again that could become possible because of this Sugam portal, right? So the time that was reduced. So the different forms which are used in order to apply, so this particular slide that will tells you that which is the particular form which is to be used for which particular type of application. Let us say, for example, if you had an application for the grant of clinical trial of new drug or the investigational new drug. So which is the form that is to be used? We already covered this. There is a need to go with the selection of the form number CT4, right? So CT4A, that is for the information to initiate the clinical trial as a part of discovery, research and manufacturing in case of India. If these are the cases where we want the approval, grant of approval, then in that case we need to go for selection of this CT4A form. If we want to apply in order to conduct the bioavailability and the bioequivalence studies, then in that case there is a need to go with the selection of the form number CT05. If you want to seek permission to conduct the clinical trial, you need to apply in the form CT06. In order to get permission, or how you will get permission, you will get permission to conduct the bioavailability and the bioequivalence studies in the form of the CT07, right? So the earlier this was the application, CT05 is the application, and CT07 that is the permission. CT04 that is the application for the conduct of the clinical trial, CT06 that is the permission to conduct the clinical trial, right? CT10 that is the application process in order to manufacture the new drug for clinical trial, bioavailability, bioequivalence study, or for the examination test or the analysis. So if you want to manufacture, you need to select the form CT10, and in relation with this application, you will be getting the permission to manufacture new drug for this CT, that is the clinical trial, bioavailability, bioequivalence, or for examination test and analysis. The permission that is to be received in the form of CT11 form, right? So these are the different forms. If you want to apply for manufacturing formulation of the unapproved API for the clinical trial, bioavailability, and the bioequivalence studies for examination test or analysis, then in that case, you need to select the form CT12. So in relation to this CT12 form, the permission that is going to be granted for the manufacturing of formulation of unapproved API for CT-BA-BE by examination test and analysis, it is the CT14. CT12 that is the application process, CT14 that is the permission process. Are you getting my point? I hope that all of you are getting. Then you need to go for applying for the manufacture of the unapproved API, right? For the clinical trial, bioavailability, bioequivalence examination test, or the analysis. Then here this case is clearly for the API, whereas the earlier case that was for the formulation, right? So you need to select the form CT13, and in relation to this CT13 form, that is manufacturing of the unapproved API, you will be getting the permission in the form of CT15. So to the CT13, it is the form CT15, in which you will be getting permission for manufacturing the unapproved API for clinical trial, bioavailability, bioequivalence examination test, or analysis purpose, right? Then suppose if you want to import the new drug, you need to apply in the form CT16. So the application to import new drug IND, that is the investigational new drug for the clinical trial, bioavailability, bioequivalence examination test or analysis, the application need to be made in the form CT16. But in relation to this CT16 form, the permission that will be received in the form CT17, that is the license to import the new drug, investigational new drug for the process of clinical trial, bioavailability, bioequivalence examination test, or the analysis. So here you can see that how to get started with the process of getting approval or the process of applying onto the Sugam portal. So you need to first begin with this particular website. You need to enter into the online portal, just into the web address, into the address bar. You need to type this https://www.cdscoonline.gov.in/cdsco/homepage. If you just enter the CDSEO online, that's it. It will direct you to this particular site where you need to click it, so that the homepage that will get opened, right? So this is to perform the clinical trial for the drugs and investigational new drugs, right? If you want to perform the clinical trial for the medical devices, it is the CDSEO MD, right? That is only the difference. Okay, then you need to get login into by providing password. So first you need to sign up, you need to register, and in response to that of the registration process, onto the mentioned email ID, you will be getting the user ID and password. So the same user ID and password need to be used, need to be entered into the by clicking onto the login. Into the username, you need to enter the username. Into the password, you need to enter the password. You need to enter the captcha. Then you have to click onto the login, so that the you will get login and you will opening the home page of this CDSCO online. Now, after entering or after providing the correct user ID and password, when the portal homepage that will get open, you will get the dashboard, and you will going to be asked to enter into the option switch role. Now, switch role, that means who you are, whether you are a supervisor, principal investigator, or a sponsor, likewise, right? So that role, or you are an administrator, right? So like that, the particular based on the options available, based on the pull down, clicking onto the pull down arrow, it will display the different roles as a user. So that particular role you need to select. Okay. After that, click on Indian agent, and now user will get an option, that is this submit application onto the dashboard. So this submit application, that is after filling all the information, all the information that is related with the applicant, the all information related with the drug, the all information related with the clinical trial, the all information related with the process of uploading all the required document, then it will ask you the checklist, and based on that checklist you have to see whether all whether the checklist that is getting fulfilled or not, whether all the information that is entered it or not, whether all the document that has been uploaded it or not, that you have to ensure. And after ensuring that, you need to go for submitting the application. Then you need to select the concerned department to which you have to apply, right? The different department and the different division. Let's say, for example, if you want to apply for the globalized clinical trial, let's say, for example, if you want to apply for the investigational new drug, let's say you want to apply for the subsequent new drugs or the vaccines, right? Or the seras or the drugs, right? So what it is, based on that, you need to go for selecting the particular division and the department. So here the details which has been shown, these details are for the globalized clinical trial. So whatever you will going to be shown into the next coming slides, that is associated with the GCT, that is the globalized clinical trial. So in relation to this GCT, the display information that is available. Now, if you had instead of this GCT the IND, the relevant information related to that IND that will going to be displayed. If you will have instead of IND the SND, that is the subsequent new drug, then in relation to the subsequent new drug, all the information that is going to be asked by the portal in order to enter, in order to fill, right? Okay. So if it is the GCT, then you need to select the particular form, whether it is form CT04 or form CT16, right? Based on that. Then you need to click onto the proceed. Now fill all the necessary fields in the application step by step and proceed with save and continue. Filling all mandatory field is compulsory. Whenever there has been a asterisk, whenever there has been a red star, that means that information need to be mandatory to fill that particular, and it is mandatory to fill particular upload document into that particular space. If there is a dialog box, you need to enter what the information has been asked, what the information need to enter. And if that is not applicable, you need to type NOTAPPLICABLE. That is not applicable. In what you need to enter. Suppose if there is a need to go for uploading the particular document and it is not mandatory, or if that document is not available to submit, or if there is no need to submit the particular document or uploading the document, then what you need to do, you need to simply type the not applicable, and that particular blank page you need to upload, right? So that is the thing. Whenever it is mandatory, that means you need to enter something into that one. Otherwise, the portal will not proceed further, will not move on to the next page, and will not accept the application. So fill not applicable if concerned section is not applicable, right? This is what already I told you. Upload all the required document into the PDF form. This is most important, because the Word file which you are going to be preparing, you need to convert this Word file into the PDF file, So when you are converting Word file into the PDF file and when you are uploading the PDF file, at that time this PDF file is such a file that which could not allow the process of editing, changing, altering, manipulating your data. That is what is the purpose behind asking to upload the PDF form. So for those fields which are not applicable, please upload the page wherein it is written that this section is not applicable along with the detailed justification, right? So you need to write that this section is not applicable. Then you need to give the justification that why it is not applicable. And that page you need to upload into that one. Uploading the proof of payment of challan, the payment which you had been made either in the form of the Bharat Kosh online or through the Bank of Baroda. You need not to pay cash, but that challan you need to upload onto this Sugam portal. Now the form CT4 will be generated for the preview. So in this preview, you can go for reading the information, what the information had been entered, whether it is correct or not. If any changes are there required, then that changes need to be corrected, which will enable you to verify the details you have filled. If they are correct, then download the PDF and sign it and upload it, right? So this is most important. You need to see if any corrections are required, you need to correct it. And after that, you need to download it. Once you are getting downloading, you cannot make any kind of change. So you have to ensure that before downloading the form CT4, all the details entered that should be correct and that should be verified. Then only it should be downloaded. After that, it should be signed and it need to be uploaded. If there are any correction, please correct before downloading. Here you may have to again start up step 1 and keep on pressing next button till you reach the correction point. Then correct the matter and proceed in usual manner to verify the corrections, if any, from preview form CT04. Right. If any correction at any stage are there, directly that page will not open. It will start from the beginning. So you just have to go onto that particular specific page by clicking onto the next, like that. Finally, you need to save and submit the application. You need to save and submit the application. So this is just the overall process that how to apply for a clinical trial. The CDSEO user manual that is available with this step-by-step guideline, and all these are the step-by-step guideline. You need to choose the division, the type of application, then you need to fill the part A, part 2, then there is checklist, then there is, sorry, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, then there is a checklist, then there is a fee payment, then submission, and there is a generation of the acknowledgement number. And this generated acknowledgement number that should be used for the further reference purpose whenever you want to communicate with the CDSUO as far as the status, as far as the tracking of your application is concerned. This acknowledgement number which is generated, that is most important. So what particularly the part 1 that will contain? It will contain the information that is the purpose of the application and the drug details. The part 2 that will contain the stability data, manufacturing details, regulatory status, and the preclinical details. The part 3 that will contain the clinical trial study details, that where, how, and what is the protocol that you are going to be adopting for the clinical trial process. And the part 4 that will contain the generation of the requisite form. Then there is a checklist, the checklist that will ensure that all the information had been entered, all the document had been uploaded. Once it is over, then you need to go with the process of fees payment through the online mode, as I told you that through the Bharat Kosh or through the Bank of Baroda. Then there is a final submission, and once you will submit, there is a generation of the acknowledgement number. That is most important. So this is the particular page of this Sugam portal where you have to apply online for the global clinical trial. As I said, that all the details that are associated with the globalized clinical trial, that is the GCT. So as you need to go for creating the user ID and password, and what the user ID and password that you had received, that you need to enter onto this particular. Here you need to enter the username. here you need to enter the password, and here you need to enter the captcha. Then you have to click onto this login. Once you will click onto the login, you will be directed onto the home page where you will going to find this menu. When you will click onto this menu, you will getting directed to that of the dashboard, and this dashboard will contain all the information, like say user information, then the permissions allowed, then the application submissions, the post approval changes, and the online payment details. In case of the application submissions, you will going to find that what kind of application these are going to be submitted, what are the different forms which are required for the process of submission, what are the application that already you had started and you had saved, what are the applications that you had submitted, what are the different applications that has been approved, and what are the different applications that has been rejected. So all these information you will going to find under one roof in case of the online portal. So the process of form submission that will begins with the login details, and excuse me, excuse me. Then you need to select the particular department, as you will going to see that there is a import registration. When you want to go for importing any drug from outside of India, at that time you need to select this particular option. If you want to apply for the process of the clinical trial, medical devices and diagnostic, nowadays this has been totally removed because this is separated now, but still this is there into the portal and need to be updated. But no, hereafter you will not going to find onto the CDSU this medical devices and the diagnostic, because the separate law, the separate amendment, and the separate division has been made for the medical devices and the diagnostics. Okay. Then if you want to apply for the BA study for the export, then you need to select this, then GCT division, and then the test license. Whatever, based on your requirement, based on the department, based on the clinical trial for which you need to get approval, you need to select the particular department. Then you need to click uh, proceed by selecting the form. So here you can go for selecting the form. You can see here the GCT division and form 44. See, this is again the old version in which you will going to find the form 44. Form 44, that was earlier form, but now this form 44 which has been replaced by this CT04, right? Form 44 that has been replaced by the CT04, that is the application process for the clinical trial. And here you will going to see that form 12 to be linked with the form 44. So form 12, that is nothing but the form 16, that is the CT16. Form 44 that has been replaced by the CT04. Form 12 that has been replaced by the CT16, right? Okay. So then you need to select this and you need to proceed on to this. So you're going to find that if form CT16 is linked with form CT04 is selected, when this option is selected, form CT16 application is opened. Once all the steps of filling the in the form CT16 are completed and submitted on Sugam, a reference number is generated. This reference number should be used to link the form CT16 application to the main form CT04 application that is shown above. And you will going to see that this is the form CT16. So here you have to enter all the information. As you can see that what the information you need to enter, you need to enter the applicant details, like say the applicant details, the purpose of application, the place from where the application is being made, right? So this red star, that means this is mandatory. You need to enter these details. Without entering these details, you cannot submit the application. Then the residential address details of the applicant that you need to enter, address line 1, line 2, then country, state, district, city, taluka, mandal or tehsil. Then there is a pin code, there is a contact number. Then the test of analysis and the site address where you are going to be carrying out this test. That is the site name, address, all these details you need to enter for in case of the form 16. Then the import address, let's say for example if you want to import anything, then the country, then the address, all state, province, region, city, zip code, then landline number, fax, all this you have to enter and you have to save this particular information. So this application, this is the third page. Once you will fill all the applicant details, you will getting directed by the portal to fill the product details. So here you need to enter the details. As you can see that once you will click onto this, it will direct you to enter the information like say the name of the drug formulation, then the class of the drug strength, quantity, pack size, type of drug. And if you want to edit something, you need to click onto this pen. And if you want that this information which is entered that is wrong, you need to delete, then you have to click onto this delete. But this all can be possible before submitting finally, right? Once you will submit all the information, then you cannot able to edit or cannot able to delete the information. So this is the way by which it will appear. Then you need to go for checklist. The checklist will going to be asked, and based on the checklist you have to ensure that all the information and the document had been submitted, entered, and the uploaded, right? Once the checklist is over, it will direct you to the payment where you have to upload the challan, and then it will ask you for the full preview. Again, in this particular stage, you need to ensure that you need to verify all the information which is entered that is correct and no correction is going to be required. Then you need to submit it. Then you need to finally submit it by clicking onto the submit button, right? So form CT01, that is the part first. The question, have you simultaneously applied for the form 12? Should be answered yes. The reference number of the form 12 application that can be then be selected from a drop down list. Yes, this is the particular stage where it will going to be asked. Then it will direct you to the part 3. As already I told you that part 1, part 2, part 3. So all here you will going to find the details associated with the clinical trial. All the clinical trial details you need to enter onto this portal. Then you will going to see this is the part 4. So the document which you need to be uploaded, that has been shown into this particular part 4, right? So there is a checklist. So test specification, permission to market new drugs, subsequent approvals, then approval permission. So all these documents are going to be asked, and it will ask you whether all the information had been entered and the document had been uploaded or not. Then it will ask you to continue. Once you will continue, again there is a checklist. You need to click onto this, so that they became active. After that only it will direct you to the next page. Once the checklist is complete, the payment challenge need to be uploaded. Finally, a preview of Form 44 is shown, which needs to be downloaded and signed. The signed Form 44 has to be uploaded, and then the application can be submitted and a reference number is assigned to it. So after each submissions, after entering all the data, you need to save it. This need to complete the part 1 to part 4 at one stretch to till the checklist. In one stretch, you need to complete all these. Otherwise, you need to go for from the right from the beginning every time. All information that is mandatory to be filled in, even if no mark is there. Every checklist item should have a document, even if not applicable. Manually prepare and upload the forms if not generated online. Increase in fee is required. Only major PS they will get the formal approval, and the other variations move from submitted to the approval section, and no notification that is going to be received. So this is what is the Sugam portal, and in this particular lecture of the last and this, what we saw what is the Sugam, who can apply onto the Sugam, how to be applied, and how to apply for a clinical trial, and what are the Sugam processes. So that is what is the Sugam portal. So with this, today we will stop at this particular point only. Thank you very much. Have a good day to you all.